I'm back, and we are here to watch Brandy's Best Live Vocals. You already know I love Brandy. I love me some Brandy, okay? All right. Now, for the most part, I'm going to analyze her vocals and let y'all know what she's doing um, in case you would like to employ some of her singing technique into your singing. That's it. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm here for. All right. Now, if you have not, go ahead and subscribe to me on Patreon. I just put a song out on Patreon, y'all. I just put an original song out called Hideaway. You won't hear it nowhere else for a while. So go ahead and sub that Patreon, all right? Like me on Facebook. Follow me on IG, official Jonathan E. Smith. If you think this is all I got, you got another thing coming. All right? All right. Let's get into it. I may not watch this whole video. It's pretty long. Come on, dude. So automatically, I noticed that Brandy as a child, again, y'all, I keep telling y'all, if you want to learn how to sing and sing well, you need to start with the breath and balanced chord closure. Now, what I mean by balanced chord closure is it's pretty much the voice that we speak in. And what I sometimes have a difficulty with vocal students is we get into a lesson and I hear them talk and they're like, Mr. J, I'm so happy to be here. I'm really happy that we're doing this lesson. Thank you for taking your time. Then we start singing and we go through scales and they go, la 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 la. And I'm thinking to myself, where did that voice go that you were talking to me in? When you talk to me, you talk like this. Very clear, very balanced. It's not super compressed. It's not a lot of breath passing through. It's just balanced. It's balanced. I think that we are all born with the ability to sing very well, and sometimes we just don't take it, or we take it for granted, or whatever that means. But Brandy, I can hear that her singing as a child. She's like, but now I see, whatever she did, I didn't hear it. But her vocal cords are not too far apart. They don't have all this breath in between them. Anyway, let's keep going.
Here's 12-year-old Brandy performing for a few scattered fans at LA's City Hall.
So good. Her dad is a vocal coach. Such a clear tone. When we reach teenhood is when we really start to hear Brandy's vocal tone develop. Again, y'all, I think that with every beautiful singer that we hear, we are going to hear that their voice defaults to a balanced level of closure, right? Y'all saw with Yeba, y'all saw with Cynthia Erivo. The vocal cords are not too far apart. They don't sing like this. I hear people sing sometimes and they let all this air pass through their vocal cords. And it doesn't have as much character, it doesn't have as much personality unless you're intentionally doing it. But for the most part, when we sing with a balanced level of closure, we can do so much, and there's so much flexibility there. So I'm going to be paying attention to her breathing too. I want to see how she breathes, if I can really see it. She has on a lot of baggy clothes.
I'm singing this song to you, baby. I think about you.
Such dexterity. Brandy's ear is so trained. She is so trained. That ear is so. Her dad is a vocal coach, so you know I don't expect anything less. But that ear, man, that ear. I'm telling you, study the minor pentatonic scale, y'all. 90 to 95% of runs are built off of the minor pentatonic scale. I'm telling you, if you study that and get it in your ear, your runs will immediately improve, I think. Going on. She's peaking right now, and in her teen years, her voice is peaking around a D5. Yeah. So her sweet spot is around that C5, D5, that range. So I'll probably say her sweet spot is at this point in the video is between C and E. C5 and E5.
Conversation next time. Don't want the pain of falling in and out of love. And remember each time I cry that I get some. I'm only mad as after all that we've been through. It comes as all the night. Mad as after all. Love is all that matters. It's the only thing that matters.
She is killing her ear, y'all. And this is what I want to say about people who naturally sing well. They have just been practicing these techniques and these things for longer than someone who just started singing when they, turned 18. I started singing professionally when I turned 17 or 18, and I felt like I was kind of behind the curve. With my voice, I felt like I just learned what I was doing when I turned like 23, 24, maybe. And for someone like Brandy, who's been singing all of her life, she grew up with music just being a part of her life. She's just had more time to work at it, Beautiful, beautiful job. Beautiful stuff, Brandy. I love Brandy. I have all of her albums, all of them. I love her. Beautiful bell. A little cry quality there. E5. So can I make an observation?
And life is
have not seen this video, and if I have, it's been a very long time. I don't think that Brandy is going to do a lot of her head voice. I saw Brandy live in 2016, 2017, maybe 2018. I did not hear her do a lot of head voice, which is fine. I mean, her strong suits really lie in those belts, her dexterity, her flexibility, that low, rich tone. Brandy is a living example that you don't have to always hit the super high Mariah Carey's. You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to sing the super high notes. Everybody's not a soprano. You know what I'm saying? Brandy has built her own lane and done something beautiful with her career just with this beautiful, rich, low contralto range. I want to say she's a contralto. I would love to say, but I don't know. I want to say she's a contralto. I would love to say that, but I'm not 100% sure. At most, at least I would say she's a mezzo soprano. What type? I'm not sure. I have to look into that. Don't judge me.
The sky above, all blue. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I ever known.
Beautiful mix. Beautiful mixed voice. Again, y'all, a beautiful mixed voice. A nice mix is, so needed. It's so necessary and so helpful for your vocal development. It smooths out the break, and it just gives you another level of vocal freedom. Really quick, the difference between mixing and belting. Belting is just a more chestier sound. If I were to do a belt note, right? Really, really, really out of the mouth. Let me think. Nay, 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 nay. That's a mix. Nay, nay, nay. Right? Oh, nay. The difference. Belting is much more, it's just much more, a little bit more louder. I think it's a little bit louder, maybe. You can feel it more in the mouth, more out, you hear it more here. Whereas with mixing, you really feel that nay, 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 nay. You feel it up in this chamber here. So the more you get used to it, the more you can tell what somebody's doing. I've just been practicing it for a long time.
You smile, oh, and then a spell was cast, for
Now,
you are mine.
and let me say this. If you notice right there, I would also venture to say that Brandy has not had a lot of classical vocal training. At most, she did her role in Roxy. Chicago. She played Roxy. But right there, she said, and then a spell was cast. Right? She didn't say, and then a spell. Right? That would be a little bit more classical. But she said, and then a spell was cast. And so right there, that kind of lets me know she has been trained to sing this way. She's been trained to sing like Brandy. She hasn't been trained to really sing like a opera star or a super classical singer. Let's keep going. Sing, Brandy. Sing, Brandy. I love you, Brandy. I love Brandy so much. People be sleeping on the Human album. I love Human. Human was a good album. I know she wasn't super proud of it, but I love this album. It was a good album. C sharp 5. Ooh, that was nice. D sharp 5 and then C sharp 5 and head voice. I wonder why she doesn't. I've heard her go higher in head voice, but not so much when we get to those adult years. And she didn't do it much when we did it live, but that was nice. That was nice, Brandy. You build me up, you only let me down. I love this. Everybody knows. Hey, I can't keep on. Sing, Brandy. Really almost made you cry. Again. Almost made you happy, baby. But everybody knows. Almost doesn't count. Sing, Brandy. Yeah. Right there. That emotive singing. That's so true. Almost made you love me. Right? All of your singing does not have to be super balanced. It doesn't always have to be balanced. But I feel like you have to start with that balanced tone. Almost made you love me. And then just like lean it a little bit to the breath of your, just a hair. When an audience is used to hearing you sing with that balanced chord closure, almost made you love me, almost made you cry. You don't have to go to the extreme. Almost made you love me, almost made you cry, right? If you start with here, almost made you love me, and you just lean a little bit to the breath, almost made you cry, almost made you happy, baby, didn't I? It will come across as breathy to the listener because they have gotten used to hearing you sing balanced. Same thing with singing with compression. Almost made you love me, almost made you cry. That little bit of grit in there, it goes a long way. We don't always have to do a lot, you know? Have you ever tried to find the words, but they don't come out right? Have you ever? Sing, Brandy. Have you ever? And long for heaven and home when Jesus is my portion. A constant friend. I'm not 100% sold that Brandy is a contralto. I think that she just has gotten used to singing in that lower range. D sharp 3 is not like super duper low. I have students that can sing that low. I think that if Brandy had a little bit more weight to her voice down there, cause she when she goes low, she tends to go like, ooh yeah, like do this like really breathy thing. If she went, ooh yeah, like it was a little bit more weighty. I don't want to say weighty, but if it was a little bit more, a little bit more compression with the vocal cords, I would say that she was a contralto, kind of like Toni Braxton, right? For instance, or Cher, like those two. Um, but I think Brandy's a mezzo soprano. I think.
Is he? And I sing because I'm free. All right. He's out. Sing it, girl. And I know he watches me.
Let me say something, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. When you're doing all these runs, when you're doing a bunch of runs and the songs back to back to back to back, you're really just being a crowd pleaser at this point. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. She knew her audience, right? Brandy knows her audience. But in musical theater, in an audition, right? Like a musical theater audition, I would not suggest doing all them runs. I would not. It only really works in gospel, pop, maybe, and only pop when you're doing the ad libs. A lot of runs throughout the song can just get kind of dizzy sometimes, and it's you have to know your audience, right? I would not go and perform. If I got a role on Broadway, I'm not doing all them runs. I'm not. If I'm singing the national anthem, not doing all them runs. If I'm singing my music, sure, I'll do some. That's fine. If I'm singing in church, yes, there you go. That's when you do the runs. Singing in an R&B club, sure. Even singing jazz, sometimes debatable, right? I think that sometimes jazz singers get runs and scatting confused, you know? Yeah.
But the rainbow
B flat 4.
up where the clouds are far behind me. That's where you'll find me.
Sing, Brandy.
Really do come true. Whoa, somewhere. Whoa, the rainbow. Skies are blue.
See, like that right there. I love that because I love Brandy. But in certain situations, the person that's like listeners can just get tired of that. Like certain situations, but because we love Brandy and I know Brandy and I love her music and I know what to expect from her, I eat this up. I eat this kind of stuff up.
And
I don't even think that was fully head voice. I don't think that was head voice.
I was born by the river. Oh, yes it is. It's been too hard living. Whoa, but I'm afraid to die. Oh,
such gospel. That's that minor. That is that minor pentatonic scale, y'all. B flat 2.
I say, brother.
But see, that wasn't all. But see, I don't think she's a contralto because there wasn't a lot of weight to that. There wasn't a lot of weight to that note. It was very, it was very. I don't know how to explain it. It was very. I don't want to say thin. Thin is not the word, but I guess you could kind of say thin. It was very airy. It wasn't a lot of weight to that note. Contraltos, their voice gets richer and it gets heavier as the notes go down. You know. Okay, let's keep going.
Help me, please. Back down on my knees. And oh, there are times when I thought
She's belting,
change is
belting.
gonna
That's
come.
belting.
Oh, yes, it is. On the floor, that stuff belongs to me.
What she just did, that was belting. That was belting. That was not mixing. A lot of that was belting. And a lot of times you can belt really well with a very strong right? A very strong B or a P. One exercise that I do with my students is ba 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 ba. That's one thing we do. Let me go. Ba 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 ba. That's good for belting. A very strong consonant at the beginning. B is usually good. B for belt. And B for Brandy. Oh. Baby. Oh. Monica's no joke either. Monica's a vocalist. They both look great.
When I'm down, oh, so much joy. When I lose my way, your love comes shining on me.
Sing, Brandy. No, Brandy just, Brandy got the juice, y'all. Brandy got the juice. She sure does. I think that Brandy is just an extremely skilled singer. She's another one of those that has been singing for her whole life. You know, a lot of times people can listen to her and say she is, just a natural. When in all actuality, I think that Brandy has just been practicing these techniques and practicing these things for a super long time. When she did her run in Roxy, and I keep calling it Roxy, in Chicago, she had to kind of learn a different way of singing. And it showed. I'm sure that when you're on Broadway, you have to go through some type of vocal training. In order to transition from singing contemporary music, or singing contemporary pop and R&B, you have to go through some type of training to sing those more, I don't want to say formal, but those more orchestrated, maybe. Those more, with musical theater, you're singing from sheet music. And you're like, you rarely get those moments to really embellish, the way that she usually does. So, but I love Brandy. Like I said, I have every album. I love her music. Aphrodisiac was a great album. Never Say Never was a great album. Full Moon inspired one of my EPs that is coming out soon. You will be able to listen to that soon. But Full Moon inspired one of mine. And I just love Brandy. I love Brandy. So thank you to Destiny for suggesting this video. So happy I got to record this. This is good. Okay. Again, y'all, check out my other videos. Subscribe to me on Patreon. And follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook to stay updated with me. And subscribe to me on YouTube. Listen, if you think that this is all I got, you ain't seen nothing yet. All right.